it's Wendy Haney here, back again. And last time I talked about organizing your scraps. Well, I've been kind of on a organization purge track in the last few months. I'm just tired of all the clutter and everything else. And in some respects, it gets in the way of enjoying my space, my quilting space. And also, the more junk I clean out and I can sell it, guess what? It means more cash in my pocket for fabric and then more room to store it. Hey, win-win, right? So today, I'm gonna go over magazines. I know some people are really good about getting a magazine in the mail. If you're like me, I have a lot of quilting magazines I enjoy getting, and I love it when I get it. It's like, oh, I get to sit down and relax and go through it and enjoy, and I mark a few that I like, and then they sit on the coffee table. And then usually the pile gets higher and higher because I'm not a person that's going to throw out a magazine that has patterns in it. It just seems silly to me. But eventually they start piling up and piling up and piling up. And that's actually what I've been going through for the last few weeks. This is something that I usually do, well, if I'm ready for my glass of wine on the deck and it's nice and it's not windy, I may sit out there and do this, or most of the time it's an end of the day, my brain can't think anymore, and I can just sit on the couch and I can do this. So here is what I do with my magazines. So I start with a binder. Whatever size binders work. This is a really small one. It's a 1-inch, which is not usually the size I get. I usually like them a little bigger. I think this is probably a, what? Gee whiz, we can measure it. A 2-inch binder. I find a 2-inch kind of works really well, especially to get a lot of patterns in. The 1 inches I like when I'm putting together things where it's something specific, tips, tricks, a quilting designs. So then I go and I buy sheet protectors. And lately I've been going through these like crazy, so buying a box of 100 is just not very productive. So the last time I ordered a box of 500. Well, a box of 500 is a lot. It's about that tall. It's like, what is in this box that's so heavy that arrived today? But they're heavy duty, non-glare, and a little bit wider. So I really, really like those. So I just throw a bunch of them in my binder, empty. Openings on the top, obviously. So I've got that. And then I get together with my pile of my magazines. And I just go through. I try not to get distracted with reading too much or overthinking. It's, oh, once in a while, let's see, I look at the tips and tricks and go, does anything sound interesting? Nope, nope. Quilt the rainbow, nope. Oh, there we go. I circled something on that one. So, just tear it out. And in this case, I'm just gonna set it there. Mystery row quilt. It doesn't trip my trigger. Lemonade stand, nope, not my cup of tea. So, as you can see, I just go through and grab the ones that I think I like. And sometimes I go, so here's a good section in the middle called Exploring Color. I love it when they have stuff like this in there. Because that, yeah, and then the biggest thing is make sure, whoa, there's a big section. There we go. Make sure you really know where it ends. And then I cut it out. There's another one that goes with that. And I think that's it. And in this case, I'm really lucky because I don't care about the next quilt. It gets a little tricky when two different things combine together. So in this case, we're going to put that, and we're going to combine it with this one so that both the exploring color and the tips that I wanted are visible. And then I slide it into my sleeve. There we go. So if I'm interested in that, I just pull it out and look at it. I don't put every single sheet of magazine page in a separate sleeve. I group them together. So basically, one sleeve should contain 2 tips, 2 pieces of information, quilt patterns, whatever that I want. So, nope, nope, nope. Too busy. Boy, not too much that I'm loving out of this one. Sometimes I'll see an article or an advertisement for a design, and let's see, what are we looking at here? Ah, yeah, June of 2016. Pattern might still be available. Fabric might be, don't know. But maybe I go, wow, that's a really cool pattern. And in this case, it's Timeless Treasures. Love Timeless Treasures. And a lot of times you can get their fabrics for quite some time and free patterns. So this one, I could see that that pattern might work really well for a variety of cool blocks, whether they're cute little designs in the sides or whatever. So, saving that one. Color options. I'm not a pillow. Okay, here is a very, very important tip. A lot of these magazines, Quilt Makers, American Patchwork and Quilting, have this section in the middle that have to go with the quilts. You want to be really, really sure that if you've picked out a quilt to throw in your binder, you get the insert. And sometimes I've actually gotten in the habit now of just throwing in that in my binder. Anyway, I make sure the label, the portion that indicates what magazine it is in there. Therefore, if later on I go, oh man, I took out this pattern and it needs the template or it needs something that they're referencing. And now I have it. Because yesterday, oh, that's the other place I do my magazine cleanup, in the car. We road trip to the quilt store yesterday, and so I threw in a pile of magazines, my binders, and I was doing that. Get home last night, and I remembered I found this really cool called Latte something. Anyway, really cool table runner with a machine embroidered design applique on it with coffee. Love it. Well, it has a pattern supposedly somewhere, but the pattern came from 2013 magazine. So I'm thinking I really couldn't find it. And then it said, or the templates are in the template sheet. Guess who didn't have the template sheets? So I'm like, headed out to the garage, pulled the garbage that I put on top of it, and there were my magazines at the bottom of the garbage bin. So I pulled those out, and I found the magazine and went, how did I miss the inside template? Well, it wasn't a really heavy one like this one, it was just 2 sheets. So that's why I'm telling you, save your sheets in the middle. Okay, so this one is a t-shirt quilt. You know what? It's always cool to have ideas for t-shirt quilts. Oh yeah, this is, yeah, that's a very good one. So, I'm gonna rip that one out. I've done t-shirt quilts before, and a lot of times it's good to have ideas and good to, for both ourselves and to help explain to the person you're making the t-shirt quilt for. There we go. We are about at the end. There we go. Now this one, oh, interesting. This is a basket quilt block, and it's indicating quilt it 3 different ways. And it has ideas for different quilting. Well, since I have a long arm, I'm often stymied on how I should quilt the block. There we go. It's actually 3 pieces. So, perfect. There we go. Then guess what happens to the magazine? Garbage. And instead of a whole quilt magazine, I have a sleeve with half a dozen things maybe. Sometimes more. It just depends. It depends on the magazine. I had one in the car the other day that, wow, I don't know if I took anything out of it. So there we go. And now I have my things. What I also do is, this is the way I do it when I'm just going through to try and get rid of the magazines and get them out and clean up. Then I'll often go through my binders again and pull out things such that one binder contains quilt patterns. And I've kind of decided that whether it's a wall, unless it's a really unique, really going to be a wall hanging that you wouldn't ever make into a quilt, I leave it in the quilt pattern binder. Otherwise, I try and create another binder for table runners, wall hangings. Sometimes we just got those odds and ends that are cute little things like pillows, or, oh, I found a really cute design on making a hanging thing with all sorts of pockets to put your thingamajobs in. I thought that was kind of cute. Thought, oh, we'll save that. The other thing is that Quilt Makers Magazine, I talked last week about scraps and organizing your scraps and said, you know what? You can find lots of places and cute little patterns to use for your scraps. Well, guess what? The Quilt Maker Magazine usually has Addicted to Scraps. It's a cool pattern that it's just one sheet in every magazine, at least in the ones I was, which was like old magazines, 2013, sometimes even older, and they're a block. And she's got it a variety of ways to use the colors. And it's like, great, well, I want those in a separate binder so that when I'm looking to do something with scraps, I can just flip through my binder. So, okay, so this is the one I just started, but I started pulling out things from my other binders for this little one. So this one has to do with quilting designs, different approaches. So I've got lots of that in there. Oh, this has got storage hacks, some more of my quilting, long arm quilting, variety, different things. But here in the back, which I actually might put in a different binder, is all about scraps. And then what I'll do is, I really love the binders that have sleeves, little sleeves, so that you can print up something or just get a piece of white paper and write on it. Addicted to Scraps, scrappy patterns. Because that's the other thing. I also came across a lot of patterns that were really meant for your scrap stash. Your stash of scraps? Yeah, that's what I meant. And then I try and put something on the side, so then when I've got these in my shelves, I can go, I'm in the mood to figure out something to do with my stash. And then I can easily flip through it and go, oh, that one looks cool. Let's do that one. Or I'm probably going to put another binder together that's really just about quilt designs for my quilting. And that way, when I've got a quilt done, I can get some ideas on ways to quilt it. And there we have it. And then pretty soon, your pile of magazines is going to dwindle. You're going to be able to throw out a ton of the stuff that you know you're really not going to. And now you're going to have them in a way that it's much easier to flip through. So when I was looking for a quilt for a wedding for a special person, I sat down with my binders and started flipping through them. And then what I usually do is I grab sticky notes and I put sticky notes. And that way I narrow it down to a few that I really like, and then I can pick out the one that I really want. I hope you found that helpful, and if you organize your magazines or your patterns in a different fashion, let me know. I would love to hear how somebody else handles it. Take care. If you'd like to stay in touch and not miss any of the new videos I'm putting out there, check out my new Facebook group called Life Fulfilled. I'm enjoying posting about all the things that I enjoy, which is quilting, needlework, wine, and books. A lot of it has to do with quilting, so come on over, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just search on Facebook under groups for Life Fulfilled. The icon, the picture is of a purple and blue quilt and thread. You can't miss it. Otherwise, you can always find me at wendyjhaney.com, my website where I'll be blogging, or find me on Facebook, Wendy Haney. The last one's going to be a little more complicated to find just the right one because there are a lot of them, but you'll be able to find my picture there. There you go. Take care.